Yo, Still Mills, what's the deal, man? Oh man, my heart goes out to anybody who works outside in the heat. These days been beating the fuck out of me. But peep game though, man. I want to talk about this whole Caleb Plant and Canelo debacle, and how just everything just became unraveled, man. I've said it before, man. Certain shit just makes sense in certain people's head. It's understandable. Some people just get tired of the bullshit. You on some dumb shit. I'm not fucking with you. You already have a reputation of being a diva. I don't want to involve myself with you. That's understandable. I get it. I really do. I understand it. I understand it. You know, you're not worth the aggravation. I don't give a fuck how many M's you gonna put in my bank account. You gonna give. I'm gonna have gray hair by the time we get. Nah, I'm good. They just rather just not deal with you. That's understandable. But from what I'm hearing is, you dig, Canelo was talking about if Caleb Plant gets injured, then he can replace him for that same fight day. But if Canelo gets injured, then Caleb Plant has to wait on Canelo. And on the out, like, before you sit down and really properly analyze it, you like, man, that's some bullshit. Why is everything about you and yada 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 yada? You feel like, yo, man, you's a whole ass nigga for that, bro. Like, but then when you sit back and you unpack it, you like, it's kind of looking out. Cause think about it, man. Canelo's not undisputed at 168 pounds if Caleb Plant doesn't fight him. He's not undisputed. So if Canelo was to get injured, that's reserving a spot for Caleb Plant to fight him. His spot is reserved. It's reserved. Just think about it. It's looking out, honestly, because we'll think about it like this. What if Caleb Plant loses in his next fight? What if he was to lose his next fight? Then at that moment, the minute that his opponent's hand is raised, he is of no value to Canelo Alvarez. He is of no value whatsoever. So on the flip side, it's kind of like, yo, you know, it's honestly good looking out. It's honestly good looking out. It is. It is. Because if Caleb Plant gets injured, all right, cool. I go and I fight Dimitri Bivol or Artur Beterbiev. And the thing is this anyway, like, Caleb, who are you exactly gonna fight? I think Canelo's fought twice since your last fight. You're not a dude who stays active like that anyway, man. You're content with fighting twice a year, once at the beginning of the year, once at the end of the year. So how was that in any way, shape, or form problematic to you when you're not more than likely even gonna fight if Canelo was to get injured? Like, these is questions that you gotta kind of sit back and just analyze, like, yo, you know what, that shit don't really make no goddamn sense. Like, real nigga shit. Canelo gets injured, you're more than likely not gonna fight, at least not fight nobody of worth. You're not gonna fight anybody of worth no way, man. You've yet to do it. I hate saying of worth, you dig? Like, these is warriors, but you dig? You know, in the grand scheme of things and for sake of conversation, you haven't fought anybody in which we want to see you fight. We've been clamoring for you to fight David Benavidez in a unification match before he got stripped of his title because of, you know, being undisciplined. And y'all never made that fight. And there was a point in time I thought you beat David Benavidez. I don't think that now. I don't think that now. The way Caleb Truax looked and how he was able to walk you down and get past your defenses or whatever, with no head movement. David Benavidez doesn't have the best head movement whatsoever. But Caleb Truax was able to get past you, walk through your jab and get a shot off. The difference is you would answer back with two or three more punches that landed. David Benavidez is a volume puncher, so I don't even think at this moment you beat David Benavidez. I think David Benavidez might stop you. But people rise, you know, they a lot of times people rise to the occasion and they're like, ah, yeah, you know, nah, you ain't just finna get me up out of here and do me like that. So, who exactly are you gonna fight if not Canelo? This is three. They've tried to make this fight with you 3 times. 3. And some goofy shit has always came up as to where you're not willing to fight, man. You had a fight. Dude was a punching bag. You gotta. After the fight, you said, I don't really need a full training camp to fight. I can be ready. And then they ask you about Canelo. It's too soon to fight Canelo. It's too soon to fight Canelo. But you don't need a training camp. A full training camp to fight him, though, right? Like, just little shit like that. You said little slick shit that leads us to believe that you don't, you know, like you looking kind of funny style. You looking kind of funny style. You know, you said, I just want what I'm owed. You asked for 10 million. They obliged you on that. They obliged you on that. But now it's, if you get injured, if Caleb Plant gets injured, he could get a replaceable fighter for you to fight that same day. But if Canelo gets injured, you have to sit down and wait. You're not gonna make the, there I go counting people's pockets again. But you're not gonna make the amount of money that you would make in 10 fights fighting a Canelo one time. You honestly won't. I try my best to stay out of people's. I try my best to stay out of people's pockets and negotiations and all that. I can't see none of that. The last time I really was adamant that negotiations were at where they were saying it was at was Wilder, Joshua and Fury. I just knew they was, oh yeah, we finna get undisputed this summer. I just knew that was gonna happen. And we got put to bed by this arbitration thing. I vowed to stay out of negotiations and contracts and all that shit after that. I'm not part of either team. I don't need to know what's going on in the contracts. I don't see the show they make. I don't see none of that shit. I'm good. All I can see is how they're training, follow them through their training camp, and see how it comes into fruition when they fight on fight night. So I don't do that shit. I won't do that no more. No. I will not do that again. I won't play myself like that. But you know, the Hennessy and the, you know what you were saying about the Hennessy and the Mexican TV. I don't know, man. Just, that's his business. That's his business. That honestly ain't have nothing to do with you, man. You know, why are you even speaking on that? It's just, I don't know, man. Then, you know, these sources that's leaking this information, you know, it's real slanderous sources of Canelo. Now, I'm not saying Canelo was innocent. He has his diva ways. I'm not saying he's innocent. He has his diva ways, most definitely. But when you pay your dues, you in a position where you can do that. You can do that. And he's paid his dues. Every fighter goes through that shit. I don't care if you're talking about Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali and Joe Louis. They all have done that. You know, this ace, I think, is a real thing. Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and go for legacy. So if you decide to walk away from Canelo, who exactly are you going to fight next? That's the $1 million question. Who's next? Who in the scope? Because the more and more I think about this situation with him talking about, you know, that particular demand, it favors you. It favors you. Everybody is practically begging for a Canelo fight. They're practically on hands and knees begging him to fight them. Demetrius Andrade is showing up at press conferences talking about when we gonna fight. Jamal Charlo, everybody is begging for a fight with this dude. You have the golden ticket and you just looking to, because you just kind of feeling yourself like, yo, man, I know my worth and I know my worth. as far as boxing is concerned, not you as a human being, but as far as boxing is concerned, you not it. You know, you're not a factor like that. You're not a factor like that, G. You're honestly not. Yo, motherfuckers don't care about you like that. For you to kind of be like, nah, man, nah, we ain't doing that. No, bro, like, real rap, you not him. You not him. You is not him. So what exactly are you planning on doing? Because you're not going to fight anybody. If y'all do sign that contract and Canelo was to get injured, you are not going to fight anybody of any sort of significance that will become problematic if you had to ride on the Pinewood in order to fight Canelo. This is to your benefit. As devious as it seems, this benefits you. Because what if you lose that belt? The minute you lose that belt, you're a non-factor to Canelo. He don't give a fuck about you. Nah, like, I don't need him no more. You lost. On to the next. And then you're going to be sitting there like calling, saying he ducking and he running and all that because he ain't fighting. You lost the belt. You had your opportunity. You blew it. You went out, you fought, you lost. All right, cool. I'm no longer interested. You have the final piece to his puzzle as far as undisputed goes and legacy goes. You have that. So without you, there is no, he can't go undisputed. He can't go undisputed. So he needs you. Like, just keeping that shit a stack. Homie needs you. He needs you in order to fulfill his ultimate goal, which is to be undisputed. So him making a demand that you have to wait on him, because the thing is, you don't campaign at no other division but 168 pounds. Canelo's talking about jumping up to 175 and all that shit. He has options. So if he was to lose to a Dimitri Bivol or Artur Beterbiev, that doesn't affect what's going on at 168. All right, cool. I lost at 175 pounds. He got it. He got me. Cool. I'm coming back. I'm about to drop back down to 168. What's goody? You understand? It's just certain. He has pull that you don't. And that pull is him fighting in multiple divisions. You don't fight in multiple divisions. You fought, if I'm not mistaken, you fought in one division your entire career, hey? You fought in one division your entire career. So, what is we doing, man? What is we doing? You have an opportunity, bro, that everybody is clamoring to have. You can fight the one motherfucker that everybody want to fight, and you gonna do some goofy shit like this because of a goofy demand like that. A goofy demand that honestly benefits you. As goofy of a demand as that is, that shit benefits you. You can't fight anybody else if I'm injured. You have to wait on Canelo. Cool. That means I'm guaranteed a fight still. If Canelo goes out and fights somebody else, I bet it won't be at 168. It'll more than likely be at 75 because that's the direction in which he's looking. And if it isn't, oh, well, it is what it is. He lost a match. The fact that you still get a crack at him, that matters. Cool. Cool. You 100. I bet. He lost to David. Say he lost to David Benavidez. All right, cool. That ain't got nothing to do with you. He's still the face of the sport. So I'm just trying to figure shit out with you. Like, why is you want? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, man, shit makes sense in certain people's heads. You know, certain shit makes sense in people's heads. It makes sense. They swear by it. They just know this is the right move for me to make. This is the most logical, well-thinking, thought-out plan as far as this particular situation is concerned. So it makes sense in their head. It really does. Like, damn, that was a smart idea. But you be coming, you be looking stupid. I'm curious to know more about this shit because, you know, how you came out and let everybody know how you was feeling. It does kind of seem like it's a level of aggravation with you that has you to a point where you're like, I'm not even about to just, I'm done fucking with this dude. So I'm over Undisputed. I'm over it. I don't give a fuck. It does come off as that. It most definitely comes off as that. You're like, I'm cool. I don't give a fuck about this fight no more. He can have that shit. It comes off as, you know, kind of childish and like, you know, you throwing your hands up. You're like, oh, fuck it, man. I'm cool. Fuck this nigga. It comes off as that. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because I know if you don't fight Canelo, you're going to go back to fighting meaningless opposition. You're going to go right back to that. You're going to go right back to that. And if you lose to that meaningful opposition, you are going to be you're going to end up begging for a Canelo fight and tell everybody that Canelo's ducking you. He ducking, he running. Just take the fight. At this point, just take the fight. If he did walk away, I'll do a little bit more research on that, and we can go from there. But how you came out to, you know, ESPN, this sounds like the gist of it as to why you grew frustrated with it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm real disappointed that this fight isn't happening. Because I wanted to see this fight, because I think you have a chance to win. I think you have a chance to win. He's a shorter dude. You're far faster on your feet. But, you know, it's still a mountain, a steep mountain for you to climb. So that's why I'm saying, like, I think it's still an interesting fight. I think it's still an interesting fight, you know, but I don't want to tell you to just disregard your initial feelings going into the fight, but you may just have to regard your initial feelings with this fight and just sign that contract, because if it's something as petty as that, then you don't really have any legs to stand on that's logical. At this point, if that's what's hindering you from signing the contract, if you are the one who did walk away, if Canelo walked away, we're gonna talk about that too. But you know, just speaking on you, if that is what made you just say I'm good, homie, that is, you're gonna cripple yourself. You're gonna cripple yourself. You are going to cripple yourself. I don't know why you won't cross to the zone side for one fight. You know, I don't get it. But what, you know, nonetheless, whatever. You know, people they have their loyalties. It's like Canelo's loyal to fucking Eddie Hearn. You're loyal to Al Heyman. I can't be mad at that. But you do have a decision to make. Like, man, I need to do what's best for me. And you fighting Canelo and possibly biting the bullet is what's best for you. Because the upside justifies the bullshit. Everything that you could possibly gain justifies all the aggravation and irritation that you feel for him that would make you be like, I'm good. The ends justify the means in this situation, Brody. They do. They do. Shot at Undisputed, shot at cracking a pound for pound rank. Everybody's pound for pound rankings. And you know, a really nice cash that's money you can retire on. Shit, that's money you can be like, yo, you know what, man, let me invest in this and start to, you know, expand your own personal economic base. That's what that type, shit, 10 M's, let me get 10 M's. I'm gonna act a fool for a minute, but then I'll be like, all right, man, let me go and, you know, let me see what I can do. How can I generate more money with this money? But don't play yourself, man, trying to be something extra that you honestly ain't. Don't get into that mentality, I know my worth, and you know, don't get into that. Because you're not that. You're not that. Not on this level. You that to maybe some other motherfuckers, but not with Canelo. It just so happens the face of the sport is in your division and is more than willing to fight you. And at this moment, it does look like you're the one that's kind of being on some extra shit. But I could be wrong. And I'm going to do some investigating. And if Canelo is on some extra shit, I'm on his ass. I'm on his ass. Believe that. I'm about to be pulling back into the cribbage in like 1 minute. I'm gonna talk to y'all until I get there. But I'm gonna dive more into this and see what's going on, man. It's a, you know, you gotta watch your sources and who you get your, where you get your information from, because it's a lot of slanderous shit. You know, it's a lot of slanderous shit, and a lot of these sources are slanderous Canelo sources. They hate Canelo. Maybe not even hate him. They recognize his greatness, but they just really, any opportunity they get to take a dig at him, they're gonna dig and dig and dig and dig and dig to continue to show that man in a negative light. I think that's pretty unfair. But he does do diva shit, like I said before. You know, it forces, when you get on that type of time with people, it forces them to get like that with you. It brews a level of irritation. You're like, oh, I can't stand that nigga. Like, that nigga's a cold bitch. I get it. But nonetheless, it is what it is, man. Don't fuck this undisputed matchup for yourself and for the fans, because I want to see it. Peace.